Does Jesus lie? Stay tuned to find out. Does Jesus lie, honey?
Why are you calling on me all of a sudden?
Because we're going to be discussing if Jesus lies.
Yeah, well, it just you said that. Does Jesus lie? You were calling me like, wait, what am I supposed to say about that? I don't believe Jesus lies. So, do you?
No, I don't think he does.
Okay, so why did this topic come up? Why are we talking about whether or not Jesus lies?
Because it is argued amongst individuals that some of the things Jesus has said are only for Jesus and not for anyone else. For instance, my favorite kind of quote or saying that's throughout, Christianity is that Jesus had said, all these things I've done, you can do and more. And some people will say, oh no, Jesus really was just talking about himself still with all of that.
Okay, now you know that quote goes something like, if you believe in me, the things that I've done, you can do more. Because you left out that part, the part about if you believe in me.
I am not a Bible scholar.
Oh, okay.
So.
But not that it changes anything, but well, I guess in a way it does, because if you're trying to do the things that Jesus did from other sources, using other sources, then there's some things to worry about there, right? Mm-hmm. But as he said, if you believe in me, so if you're using me as part of your tool to make this happen, you'll be able to accomplish more than I did. You'll be able to do everything that I did plus more. So what are you saying? Are you saying, what exactly are you saying? Why do you bring that up, that part?
Because there are people who say that, anyone who heals themselves or does anything like what Jesus did, if they're basically not a prophet of whatever group they're a part of, then it's probably the work of the devil, or down where
Right.
you don't want to be.
Right. I know I've read many things from, well, not many things, but I've read things about the history of religions, especially Christianity, the history of Christianity. And what I noticed is that in all of these texts that I've read, the writers seem to have a separation. There's a clear separation that takes place. And it goes like this, that like with Jesus, whatever Jesus did, they're miracles. Mm-hmm. Okay? Now there are other individuals that lived around the time that Jesus lived. And those individuals are known to have performed the same feats that Jesus performed. They raised individuals from the dead. They healed the sick. They healed the blind. Identical. It's really interesting. We won't go into details about those. Mm-hmm. As a matter of fact, I pulled this one on you and our kids.
Yes.
Right? Remember I asked you the question. So this guy was born near Bethlehem there. His parents were poor. Right? He grew up, and by the age of 12, he was teaching in the temples. Then he went off, disappeared and came back, and he had disciples. People were following him. He was healing the sick, right? Mm-hmm. Who am I talking about?
Well, we all said Jesus.
Exactly. And then what did I say?
No.
And I told you who I was talking about at the time.
Yes.
And who was that?
Apollonius.
Now people don't hear about Apollonius because what they did was, even though Jesus was doing the same thing that Apollonius was doing, Apollonius was doing the same thing that Jesus was doing at the same time. Mm-hmm. They said that Apollonius was performing magic. See the difference? Mm-hmm. Miracle, magic. And so they use those two terms to differentiate your source as to the source that you're getting your power is from. And if it's magic, then it's not good. Now, Apollonius, if you ever read anything about Apollonius, he preached the exact same thing Jesus did about loving each other, caring about your neighbor and your brothers and sisters. Exact same message. But he was working with the you-know-who, and Jesus was not. Now, I'm not saying that Jesus was. I'm just trying to show you how even back then they differentiated between them. And even to this day, there are people that if they're pro-Christianity only, where they're Jesus only, they'll tell you that Apollonius was a fake. Now, Apollonius was not the only one. I just brought it up because that's what came to mind.
Right.
Why did I bring it up? Because it ties into what you're saying. Here's someone that was clearly demonstrating that it wasn't only Jesus that could do those things that Jesus was doing. Oh, and by the way, Apollonius died, and then what?
He resurrected.
He resurrected.
And he ascended.
He appeared to his disciples and to regular people, spoke with them, and they knew that he had died because they buried him. But there are many accounts of where he spoke to them and everything, and then many people were there when he ascended to heaven. Whole body after he resurrected from the dead. Does that sound familiar?
Yes, it sounds very similar, like Jesus.
But he wasn't Jesus. Now somebody watching this will be like, "What? Are you sure?" No, it's not blasphemy. The records about this. But then most of Christianity has tried to put that away as, no, this guy was not real, he's fake, or he was working with the you-know-who. I go back to the statement that someone made. Well, if he was working with the you-know-who, and so many people turned to God, the one God, because of what he did, isn't it kind of silly that the dark forces helped him to have people turn to God instead of them?
Right.
And it's the same argument now. So it's an argument that's been there since even when Jesus was alive, is the point. You're right. The general consensus is that only Jesus can do those things and nobody else can. And then there are arguments that they show you in the Bible. They pull all the things out of the Bible. Well, in the Bible it says this, and in the Bible it says that.
Right.
That's great that that's in the Bible, but see, I go back to this. Everybody says, all these people that are arguing, they say that Jesus is God.
Yep, right? The only Son of God. Yep, that's
the only Son of God. But some people will say he's God.
Yes.
Okay, so if he's God, he's God. We have all these other things in all these different books where they're talking about, well, this is not correct. They call it what? Necromancy and all these things.
Right.
Okay? And if you do that, you're dealing with the you-know-who. And of course, there are incidents or there are situations where people are actually doing that, right? They're dealing with the dark forces. We know that. So we're not saying no. But all I'm saying is, Jesus also says that you'll know them by their works, right? By the fruits of their works. Okay? So if somebody's healing people, and this person now is not suffering anymore, they're having a better life, and they're thanking God, what? How could that be in connection with the dark force?
I don't think it is.
Right?
Not from what I understand of the dark forces.
So here's Jesus, who's supposed to be God as well, saying, everything that I've done, and if you believe in me, everything that I've done, you can do. And you, as you said, you can do even more, right?
Right.
Jesus is saying this. Who am I going to listen to? Paul, who tells me that it's necromancy if I do that, and then I'm wondering, is Paul really talking about the people that actually believe in Jesus when they're doing this, or believe in God when they're doing this, or is he referring to the individuals that are dabbling in the dark forces? See, I believe that Paul is talking about the folks that are dabbling in the dark forces, or with the dark forces. It's not everybody. It's like saying that all, how do I say, putting a label on a group of people.
Okay.
Whatever that is. I'm not able to come up with one right now, right?
Right.
But you know how they take people and put labels on them.
Right, categorize them in some way.
Right. Oh, for example, in Chicago, when we were there, they said the south side of Chicago is very dangerous.
Yes.
Don't go there. Well, you've been to the south side of Chicago. Is every part in the south side of Chicago dangerous?
No, not at all.
But then they categorize it.
Yep.
Similar thing here, that as long as you can heal people, you're not Jesus, you're not a prophet, then you're dealing with the dark forces. That, to me, that's not accurate, because I believe what Jesus has said. He said that if you believe in him, everything he's done, you can also do. Well, I believe, I've read that Jesus helped. I didn't see it, right?
Right.
But I've read about he healed people. I've read about how he's raised people from the dead. He multiplied fish and loaves of bread. He calmed the seas.
You cast out demons.
Exactly. So to me, that tells me that as long as I believe in him, I can also do that. So what do? I try.
Right.
And then all of a sudden people are being healed, and then I'm being told, you're performing magic.
Dark magic.
Right? It's not a miracle, not that we consider it a miracle anyway, you know,
Right.
but it's only a miracle if you don't understand it. Yeah, we understand why it happened, so it's not a miracle to us. So to me, he's not lying. How about you?
Oh no, I don't think he's lying at all. Not from everything I've seen. Not from all the experiences we've had with individuals.
You have to give some supporting documentation here. That's a general statement.
Myself.
Okay.
For years, since I was a little girl, I would have headaches, migraine type headaches that would be so bad, my head felt like it was going to explode. I would vomit, I would be sick. All of a sudden, you know, I had my kids where I still had lots of pain even after childbirth and stuff. I mean, it was a lot, and all these headaches all the time. And when my husband started to receive training on how to do what we call clearing work, getting rid of anything that is from the dark side, the very first clearing that my husband did on me, I didn't have a headache for over a week, which was really unusual because I would usually have headaches every day or every other day. And I was blown away. I was like, wait, I feel good. I felt calm. I felt peaceful. I didn't feel angry all the time or quick-tempered, as people would say. Oh, that's your German side. No, that was gone. And
I used to be proud of your German side.
I did. I used to be proud of that. Yeah, that aggression. Now I'm like, no, if I'm like that, there's something wrong. Then I used to, after childbirth of our last daughter, I had debilitating low back pain. I could not be in any position where I was not in constant pain. And it continued every year. It would like, almost like a relapse. And I'd be wondering what was wrong with me. Well, with all the work that my husband has been trained to do, I don't have that anymore. And it is so wonderful. You know, as soon as I feel any pressure in my head, I used to think, well, after my husband started doing clearing work on me, I started to think, uh-oh, I'm getting a headache. And I think, no, I don't have to have that. I go tell my husband, he does some work, finds out what's going on, and it was gone. It happens to this day. It's wonderful. So for me, that is proof enough for me
So
that
here's the
if
question.
Jesus could do that, and he told us we could do that, and you're doing that to help me, and I thank God every time it happens. I know Jesus is not
I
lying.
was about to ask the question. So, after all that, do you believe in God?
Oh, I believed in God before, but I didn't have the belief and faith that was very strong, because I would read these miracles of these saints doing things, you know, and you read about Jesus coming and healing the sick, and I think, oh, why can't Jesus be alive now to do that for me? You know, I've
that's
had
a
those
good point.
thoughts. And
Well,
then
how
when
about the saints? I know, for example, in the Catholic Church, they tell us, you know, we have these, like this scapula.
the scapular,
one thing.
you have the relics, and you have holy
You even
water.
you have relic.
I used to, yes.
And so, how comes you didn't use that to help you?
I used all those things. I said chaplets and rosaries and novenas. I said all kinds of prayers throughout my entire life.
And they didn't help.
Nothing helped.
Maybe you didn't.
Well, you know what? I won't. Let me not say nothing helped. I mean, there was never a significant relief
Right,
of anything.
because it probably helped, right?
I don't know.
At
I
least a
took a
little
lot of medications. I always had a bottle of Advil or something with me.
That's right. But once you and I got close, I'd ask you, what do you do with that?
Right.
It was always
I had this
Advil.
large bottle,
Exactly.
like 200 tablets of Advil.
That's
Always
correct.
had it with me.
I remember that. That's before I started practicing, folks.
Right.
That's to let you know. So despite that, you being healed, you didn't say, well, God didn't heal me, so I'm not going to believe in God.
No.
You believe in God even more.
Yes.
So why did your faith increase instead of decrease? Despite what you've been told about how you're dealing with the you know what, and myself, your husband is dealing with you know what. Why is it that you still believe in God even though people are accusing you of that? I mean, these are folks that are close to you.
Because I know how you and I pray. I know that I've always believed in God. I've always prayed to God. And I knew there was reason for everything that took place. I knew there were answers out there. And after the clearing work started happening, I no longer had the bad dreams or nightmares. And I started having dreams where my relatives would come to me and talk to me. And then I'd tell the dreams to you and you'd explain what the dreams meant. And they were actually messages for me about the encouragement for what we were doing. And that was confirmation for me that we're on the right path. God is guiding us. The angels are with us, and that was enough for me. It was personal experience. That's all I can say. It's all personal experience. You just have to experience it.
So now, and this could be biased. I have to forewarn. Really biased because you're my wife. From what you see, what is my perspective on God? Do I even believe there's a God, or do I?
Absolutely. You always believed there's a God. Since day one when I met you, God can do all things. Everything is possible through God. That's how it's always been. Even during your toughest, darkest times that I went through with you.
Darkest times?
Well, yeah, from things that you went through. I call those dark times.
Got it, okay. See, that's the difference.
Those are really intense times in your life.
That's the difference in perspective.
It is perspective. You didn't see it that way.
No, I
but
didn't.
me, from the outside looking at it, from the faith and background that I had at the time, I was like, how is this man still operating? I kind of felt like it was a Job situation. Let's throw something else at him. Come on, let's do this now. That's how it looked to me. And there you were, as calm as can be.
And why do you think that was?
Well, you said it because you knew everything would be taken care of.
Exactly.
The Ascended
Right.
Masters and God were with you.
All right, so here we are. We're on this mission to help people, as many as we can, and then to teach people to help themselves,
Yes.
and then for them to help other people. But we're doing it understanding that everything is done with the help of God, with the help of the Ascended Masters, who are part of God, just for people to understand that. So going back to your question, and with the help of the angels. So going back to your question, did Jesus lie when he made that statement about, what did he say?
All things that I do, you can do and more. That's my version.
Right. Did
No,
he lie?
he did not lie. Not at all. Not from what I've seen. Not from what I've experienced.
And Jesus doesn't lie in the first place.
That's right.
Right? And that's another debate for another time as
Yes.
far as what was he really talking about when he says, if you believe in me. Maybe that's where the
Core of the argument begins.
exactly, right? The bottom line is that if you're wondering if you can heal yourself, if you're wondering if you can find solutions, you get answers to challenges that you're experiencing, if you're wondering if you can heal other individuals because you care about them and you want to help them, and you're doing that, and you're still a being of light, not dealing with the dark forces, the answer is yes, you can. There's no question about it. You can do that. And you don't have to feel guilty about it at all.
And it's all done through God. For individuals who are thinking, oh, you're saying you can heal yourself. It's all done through the power of God, His angels and saints, the Ascended Masters. They're the ones who are helping you every step of the way.
Good point, because it's not really you healing yourself.
No.
It's them healing you. So you're receiving the help and guidance from them.
And that's what we train individuals to do.
That's correct.
To tap into them, to tap in and be able to use what they have to offer to be able to take care of yourself and your loved ones and whomever else.
Use the help that they give you.
Yes.
Is the point. All right. Anything else, sir?
No, I think that's it.
You look beautiful, by the way,
No,
as usual.
thank you. Thank
And
God
that
for
is
that.
not bias, folks. You're looking at the most beautiful woman in the whole universe right there. Take a good look, because you won't see it again.
Bye.
Oh, okay, I should have seen the next video. Bye.
Remember to subscribe and like this video. Join the Facebook group 190 Vision to connect with others on the same journey. Get help by visiting our website 190vision.com. Support the 190 Vision mission by clicking on the donate button, which is at the bottom of each page of our website.